The latest trade conflict between China and Canada has escalated into a full-blown economic confrontation, centering on an anti-dumping probe into Canadian canola imports. This development marks a significant chapter in the growing geopolitical tensions between the two nations, a struggle that began with Canada's tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, EVs. As this dispute unfolds, it poses severe consequences, not just for the bilateral relationship, but also for global commodity markets and financial stability. What will be the ultimate impact on Canadian farmers and the broader economic landscape? Before we proceed, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification icon in order to stay connected. You can support for free by sharing our content to a wider audience, and don't forget to drop your thoughts and opinion in the comments section below. Moving forward, the roots of this conflict are tied to the broader trade tensions that have been mounting between Canada and China. The trade dispute began in earnest when Canada imposed tariffs on Chinese EVs, citing concerns about unfair competition stemming from subsidies provided by China to its electric vehicle manufacturers. This move was perceived as a challenge to China's trade practices and an attempt to level the playing field for Canadian and other non-Chinese manufacturers. In retaliation, China has targeted Canadian canola, a crucial agricultural export for Canada, with an anti-dumping investigation. This probe is designed to assess whether Canadian canola is being sold in China at prices below its fair market value, a practice considered unfair under international trade laws. For Canada, the timing and scope of this anti-dumping probe could not be more consequential. Canola, a major crop for Canadian farmers, is known for its oil-rich seeds that are utilized in a range of food products and industrial applications. The Chinese market is a significant destination for Canadian canola, and any restriction or imposition of tariffs could have devastating effects on Canadian agricultural producers. A potential finding of dumping could lead to the imposition of tariffs, severely impacting the volume of canola exports to China and creating significant economic strain for Canadian farmers who depend heavily on this market. The repercussions of this probe are already being felt across the Canadian agricultural sector. With a substantial portion of Canada's canola production being exported to China, the probe introduces considerable uncertainty and financial risks. If the investigation results in tariffs or other trade barriers, Canadian farmers could face reduced access to one of their largest markets, leading to oversupply issues domestically. This oversupply could cause a drop in canola prices, undermining farmers' incomes and exacerbating the financial pressures they are already facing from fluctuating commodity prices and other economic challenges. The Canadian Canola Council, which represents the interests of canola growers, is actively engaged in addressing the ramifications of the anti-dumping probe. The Council has expressed deep concern over the potential economic impacts and is working to advocate for a fair resolution. It is also exploring alternative markets to mitigate the impact of the reduced flow of canola to China. The Council's efforts are critical in ensuring that the interests of Canadian farmers are represented and that any resolution to the dispute is equitable and transparent. In response to China's probe, the Canadian government has adopted a firm stance. Canadian officials have challenged the probe, arguing that it is a politically motivated action rather than a legitimate trade issue. They emphasize the need for constructive dialogue and negotiations to resolve the dispute without further escalation. This position reflects Canada's broader approach to trade relations with China, balancing its economic interests with a commitment to maintaining a rules-based international trading system. The broader implications of this trade dispute extend beyond the bilateral relationship between Canada and China. The global commodity markets are already feeling the impact of the uncertainty surrounding the probe. Canola prices have experienced volatility as traders react to the potential disruption in supply. This market instability not only affects Canadian farmers but also has ripple effects on global supply chains that rely on canola oil. The financial markets are also closely monitoring the situation, as trade disputes can influence investor sentiment and lead to broader economic consequences. The economic confrontation between Canada and China highlights the shifting dynamics in global trade relations. The trade relationship between the two countries, once characterized by cooperation and mutual benefit, is now increasingly strained. This conflict adds to a growing list of trade disputes between Canada and China, including previous issues related to agricultural exports, technology, and human rights. Each side has been leveraging economic measures to advance its strategic interests, contributing to a more contentious and volatile trade environment. The role of the Canola Council of Canada in this context is pivotal. The Council not only represents the interests of Canadian canola producers, but also plays a crucial role in advocating for fair trade practices and market access. In light of the probe, the Council is working diligently to engage with both the Canadian government and Chinese authorities to ensure that Canadian farmers' interests are protected and that any resolution is based on fair and transparent trade principles. Financial markets are reacting with heightened caution to these developments. Trade disputes often lead to market volatility, and the current situation is no exception. Investors are concerned about potential disruptions in commodity supplies and the broader economic implications of escalating trade tensions. The uncertainty surrounding the canola probe and its impact on global markets is a cause for concern among financial analysts and investors. Western nations are also observing China's trade moves with interest. The ongoing economic power struggles between China and its Western allies have been a defining feature of recent global trade dynamics. China's actions against Canada are part of a broader pattern of using economic leverage to assert its geopolitical interests. Western countries are likely to consider these developments as they navigate their own trade relationships with China and respond to similar economic pressures. For Canadian farmers, the anti-dumping probe represents more than just an economic challenge. It is a threat to their livelihoods and way of life. Canola farming is a vital economic activity in many rural communities, and the prospect of losing a significant export market adds to the anxieties of farmers who are already dealing with the impacts of climate change and fluctuating commodity prices. The outcome of the probe will have direct and profound consequences for their financial stability and future prospects. In summary, the anti-dumping probe into Canadian canola imports signifies a critical moment in the evolving economic relationship between China and Canada. The dispute has far-reaching implications, affecting not only the bilateral relationship, but also global commodity markets, financial stability, and the livelihoods of Canadian farmers. As the situation develops, it will be essential for both nations to seek a resolution that addresses the underlying issues and minimizes adverse impacts on their economies. The outcome of this dispute will likely influence how future trade conflicts are managed, reflecting the broader power struggles that are reshaping global economic relations. And that concludes this chapter. You can support for free by sharing our content to a wider audience, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Also, kindly remember to like, subscribe, share, and turn on the bell notification icon in order to stay connected. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.